What are some clear signs that someone is failing at life? How far they have to look back to brag. If a 40-year-old talks about his high school life, that's a pretty good indicator. Haters are a real thing, but no one complaining about the haters on Facebook has a life that anyone is jealous about. It's all relative. You can view someone as successful, but they are a failure in their own eyes, and one person can look to be a failure but are proud of what they've done and are happy. Always complaining and never taking responsibility. They characterize everything as happening to them and don't take any initiative to change their situation. Continuously having kids that they do not want with a partner they despise. They're cold to the touch and have no pulse. Their Facebook profile lists, School of Hard Knocks for Education. Moving from one MLM to another. Looking through this thread and seeing if any answers apply to you. Making multiple accounts on any social media platform and having conversations with yourself. Referring to themselves as an alpha male. When they believe anyone doing worse than them is because that person is a piece of shit, and anyone doing better than them is because that person had it handed to them. / edited for clarity. When your adult children hate you. Sounds awful, but I have an auntie and the whole family talks about her funeral in passing. Like, I can't imagine being such an awful person. People look forward to my funeral. Let me just add, if you are in poverty / financially struggling, you aren't failing at life. It feels like it 90% of the time, but you are doing the best in a shitty, flawed society. Ouch. This hits pretty close to home. For me, lashing out at other people / things for anything gone wrong in my life is like a split-second knee-jerk response. To be sure, I think everyone has some problems that are indeed caused by others. But it got to the point where I would be internally seething at co-workers or bosses for every flaw on a document I had to fix, or concocting elaborate revenge fantasies against people I felt were keeping me down. Then there was God blaming. Grew up in a Christian background and was convinced God had placed a curse on me because it always seemed I was doomed to worse luck or outcomes than other people. I would write detailed journal posts about how God or life was specifically out to get me, doing analysis sort of like a prosecutor collecting evidence to prove I was being unjustly wronged. Much of my mindset was, why do I always have to put in twice the effort to get half the payoff everyone else gets? I can feel that urge even as I'm typing this. There was no sudden flash of light epiphany moment where this dawned on me. It was more like a gradual realization over the course of years. The tricky part, as someone mentioned, is that there usually is a certain nugget of truth in blame, which makes such an attitude difficult to shed. For instance, if you had a crazy conspiracy theorist mother, then she did affect you a lot, but you can't blame her for 80% of your problems if she's only the cause of 40%. Or if someone cut in front of you in traffic before you could cross a yellow light, then they did indirectly cause you to arrive late at work, but you could have left home 10 minutes sooner. In my mid-30s now, and trying my best. Being a AskReddit mod and thinking it's a legitimate job. Edit, JK, don't ban me please. Asking for garbage bags because you can't afford them, only for me to find out later that they were at the dispensary earlier that day buying weed. They let their duck license expire, and they now own an unlicensed duck. Everyone busily scrolling seeing if they have failed at life. When they pick and torture those weaker than them. They feel it necessary to keep pointing out how great they have it. In my experience, the people who talk themselves up all the time are the ones struggling with something. One, they are unable to change behavior that is clearly harming them and objectively problematic. Drunk driving, abusive behavior, etc. 2, they are unable to take responsibility. 3, they blame others, particularly marginalized groups, for their failings, because self-reflection would be too painful. 4, they mistreat those who treat them the best, and show no gratitude. 5, they betray those who have shown them kindness. 6. They value materialism over substance. 7. They treat people as things. 8. They judge others for the things they do in secret. 9. They weaponize the hardships of others for the purpose of manipulating them. 10. They take advantage of those who can't fight back. Victim mindset. PPL are great at covering things up. That guy living in the 1 mil house may have just got divorced, he may have a failing business and on the brink of bankruptcy. But he wouldn't show it. The guy living in the typical family home in the city, may have a healthy relationship and bank account. But PPL think he's failing because he doesn't care to wear Walmart clothes and drive a 2005 Honda. Unless you know the person deeply, it's best to not judge the person. You only fail when you stop trying. I hate these kinds of questions. No one has a handbook at life and no one was asked to be born. Everyone just tries to survive the best ways they can given what they have, where they are, and what life throws at them. I will never look at a person and think, wow, that person is failing at life. Instead, I'll wonder how they got to that place. And I'd hope others would as well. I can't imagine someone seeing a mistake I do, which we all do because we're human, and thinking/saying, damn, that person is just failing at life. What a pretentious, privileged attitude. They make exorbitant/extravagant purchases beyond their means. That they are starting a life coaching business. They blame everything on a shadowy conspiracy elite that only they are intelligent enough to see rather than just being a bit thick and generally unemployable. People that surround themselves with people that only think what they think. It's one thing to avoid people that are toxic, it's another to only surround yourself with people that are carbon copies of you and villainize anyone with any sort of different mindset. People who are * living paycheck to paycheck, but making plus $100K/year. * constantly asking others for favors without reciprocating. * unable or unwilling to take accountability for things they say or do to others. * intentionally mean to animals, example kicking birds that are in their way. They listen to Andrew Tate. They litter. Honestly, it's just a mindset thing. It's never the end. There's never this moment of you've officially failed. At any point, you can turn it around. You just have to shift your mindset to be open to new possibilities, and be ready to make changes. Depends. On one side, I'm at 23 years old living at home, so I feel like a failure. On the other, my health is at its peak and I'm stronger than I've ever been. Just like others, it's a scale with varying points. I mean, gestures at self. Edit. Previously I had this very long list of things I nitpicked and ranted about myself because I truly really see myself as an irredeemable failure, then walked away for a bit, to cool off LOL, thinking my reply would get buried. I didn't expect so many people from so many different walks of life to relate and engage with this childish rant. I really appreciate those who reached out and those who talked with each other. Although it's sad we are all stuck in the same boat, it is comforting knowing that there's people out there who understand just how crappy everything feels. Thank you for reaching out to me. I really hope something good happens in your lives someday, because you really deserve it after all the shortcomings you've been through, and I hope we all find that sense of self-assurance and peace we crave in our lives, to be where we need to be and not feel like a loser anymore. We've had enough of cynicism and being kicked in the teeth and winning the bad genetic/karma lottery in life. May our hope lead to some respite one day. Have a great day. Red Heart. How can we live without failure? Failure must happen for us to learn and grow. Coming up to your job on your off day to socialize. People who are unable to find anything in life they enjoy or are grateful for, even the smallest of things.